moving into what we're watching, which perhaps I overlooked it in the article, but I don't remember them saying anything about All American Homecoming. So perhaps it's not on the bubble and it's doing well. And there's an expectation that the show will be renewed. If so, I'm going to be the happiest little clam. I love this show. It's the right amount of like college drama, coming of age with a sprinkle of messiness. And this week's episode, well, not, yeah, this week's episode was fantastic. And you know what? As someone who ships Damon and Simone, I was excited, but I was also like, Jordan and Simone, I like them too. And why is Simone out here flying to Chicago to go help Damon get some answers from his father, who unfortunately is suffering from early onset Alzheimer's? When she's supposed to have a date with Jordan. What are we doing, girl? Like, where's the decision making? Also, why do we have frequent frequent flyer miles? From where? How? I don't remember you flying that much.
Yeah.
But okay.
A college freshman with frequent flyer miles. I love it.
I know. I mean, it's so great. I mean, I know they do that in teen shows all the time, but every time they do it, I'm like, why? But I think the one great storyline they've been doing on All American is Damon sort of trying to figure out who his birth parents are. And they've touched on very different elements for a storyline like that, with him looking for answers, but also trying to find completeness in himself with the family that he was raised with, but also knowing even when there's the nurture versus nature argument, for those who do know about their family, it's a little easier to navigate coming of age because you have touchstones. And it's not that he doesn't have touchstones to his parents, it's just there's so many unanswered questions. And I've really enjoyed that aspect of his character and the development that's come from it, especially in a show that's supposed to be a sports drama. We spend a lot of time growing these kids up. And I think that's fantastic. And it's also probably because, we're not quite at the season for baseball and tennis. I think, I'm not really a sports person, but I'm going to say I think. But also there's drama with Amara when it comes to someone who was attacking her credibility as not only a journalist, but also a professor of journalism at the school, and seems to have a vendetta against her, which it might be the former baseball coach who is mad at her because she exposed that he was allowing his baseball players to take a fake class. Like, so they were attending class, but it wasn't one that was rigorous. They were just supposed to sign up for it, and then the instructor would just pass them. They didn't have to do any work for it. It is just filled their schedule so they could focus on baseball and keep their GPAs up, which, sir, you're failing the children, and that is why you got fired. What else? I like Cam and Keisha a lot. I think one of the things that they do well on this show is that actions have consequences. Even when you have to take a step back from a relationship because you have your own trauma to work through, which Keisha does. She has not abandonment issues, but she lost her mother young. And so she has a hard time being open emotionally because of it. And she told Cam that, and their friendship has grown because of it, but their romance has been put on the back burner. And she's been helping him find himself outside of football because he can sing. And now he's joined the a cappella group. And but just because they've connected that way doesn't mean he's not still looking for a connection romantically. And he might have found it in someone outside of her, even though Keisha might possibly be ready to be in a relationship with him. But that is how life is. And I love that they've done that with these, I guess, older teens as they're moving through into their young adulthood.
I have to say, what I love about All American Homecoming is that even though we've seen these stories told in shows like this before, like adoption storylines or like love triangles or whatever's going on in school, we've seen them before, but we haven't really seen them told in this way with these kinds of characters. And I think it's really special how they make it unique and compelling, even though like, oh, we can predict like what might happen with a I'm searching for my birth parent storyline. I think the way they do it is so special and different to this specific story they're telling with these characters. So I really appreciate that with the show.
I do too. And I think majorly it is because they're taking their time telling these stories, and not like in the way, to drag the flash a little bit, not like in the way that, like, you know, we have one scene about what's supposed to be a season long arc and then we forget it for 45 minutes and then come back to it, to have another scene for that storyline.
I wonder what storyline that is.
Oh, you know, Michael, you know.
Couldn't possibly know.
I know, I just been so subtle about it. But with All American Homecoming, there's been a lot of build in, even with having an ensemble cast, they're really, really good at balancing all the storylines. Even with JR, you know, he left baseball because of his parents. Now he wants to get back to baseball. And his teammates were like, no, like, you have to be open with us about what happened, because you don't get to just leave us and then come back because you're ready to come back. Again, if you want to watch a show that'll give you the life lessons that people need to, you know, see and learn from, it's All American Homecoming. I feel like I've watched a lot of teen television over the years, and they're different because they take their time. There's messiness in it, but it's not shock value messiness. It's not so much focused on love triangles that you don't see the other aspects of the characters' lives. And I think that's what makes it such a great show on the CW and spinoff for the All American franchise.
Yeah, they keep things moving, but they let it breathe. And I think that's a really important balance that not a lot of shows can do.